The wait is finally over, and the atmosphere in the Windy City is absolutely electric because the blueprint for the next decade of Bears football has officially arrived. We are standing on the precipice of a night that will either catapult this franchise into a Super Bowl dynasty, or leave us haunted by, what if, for the next decade. The legendary Beast draft guide has dropped, and the intel inside is enough to make any diehard fan's heart race with a mix of pure adrenaline and genuine fear. We aren't just looking at names on a board, we are hunting for the final, missing pieces of a championship puzzle for a team that was just one play away from the NFC Championship game. Are you ready for the most high-stakes draft cycle of our lives? If you want to stay ahead of every single rumor, medical red flag, and draft night shocker, do yourself a favor and like, share, and subscribe right now so you never miss a beat of this off-season madness. We have to start with the secondary because, let's be honest, you cannot survive in today's NFL if you are leaking yards in the back end, and right now, the Chicago Bears are at least one elite starter short. The name that is absolutely setting draft rooms on fire is Dillon Thieneman. This kid out of Oregon, a former Purdue standout, is a human highlight reel, and his stock is skyrocketing so fast it's actually starting to get a little terrifying for us picking at number 25. The experts are comparing him to Justin Reed, and when you pop in the tape, you see exactly why. He is a heat-seeking missile in the run game and possesses a scheme-friendly football IQ that coaches would give their left arm for. He's a chess piece that can play single high, drop into the box, or lock down the slot. Pairing him next to Kobe Bryant would give the Bears one of the most interchangeable and dangerous safety duos in the entire league. But here is the burning question. With his draft stock rising into the teens and experts like Dane Brugler ranking him 18th overall, should we be aggressive and trade up to grab him? Or do we sit tight and pray he falls into our laps at 25? The thought of missing out on a playmaker with his instincts is enough to keep any fan up at night. Now, let's pivot to the trenches, where things get incredibly complicated and the risk factor goes through the roof. We need to talk about Kadyn Proctor. This is a mountain of a man out of Alabama, a 6'7", 350-pound physical specimen who has seen his weight fluctuate like a roller coaster throughout his college career. Earlier this season, he ballooned up to nearly 400 pounds, but he's fought his way back down and is currently training with the top offensive line gurus in the country to sharpen his frame. The raw power is undeniable. He is a human forklift when he gets his hands on a defender, but the technique is still a massive work in progress. Some scouts see a franchise left tackle who can protect our quarterback for the next decade, while others are convinced his professional future is actually inside at guard. Question of the day: if a massive, high-ceiling project like Kadyn Proctor is sitting there at 25, are you pulling the trigger to protect the blindside for the long haul, or are you demanding a plug-and-play starter who can help us win a ring right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I need to see where the fanbase stands on this massive gamble. The debate gets even more heated when we look at the edge rusher position, where we are facing a classic now versus later dilemma that could define the current era of this front office. On one hand, you have Akeem Masita from Miami. The guy is a pure disruptor, a non-stop motor who lives in the backfield and has the polished pass rush moves to give you 6 to 8 sacks the moment he steps on the grass like a rookie. He's productive, he's versatile enough to kick inside on sub-packages, and he plays every snap like his life depends on it. But here's the catch that has everyone biting their nails. He's an older prospect who will be 25 by the time the season starts, and he has an injury history that will make any GM sweat. On the flip side, you have Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. Falk is the ultimate bet on traits guy, 6'6", nearly 280 pounds, and he won't even turn 21 until September. He is a physical freak of nature with a massive wingspan, but his pass rush plan is incredibly rough. He might not give you a double-digit sack season until 2028. Do we go for the win now impact of Masita to push for a Super Bowl run in 2026, or do we invest in the long-term ceiling of Falk and hope he becomes a superstar down the road? Personally, I'm leaning toward the immediate impact. This roster is ready to win a trophy today, and we cannot afford to wait on potential, while our championship window is wide open. We need players who can put the opposing quarterback in the dirt the second the whistle blows. And then there is the wild card that nobody wants to talk about but everyone is thinking about, Zion Young. From a pure talent and physical profile perspective, this kid is a first-round lock. He's explosive, he's powerful, and he fits the exact mold of the high-motor defensive end that this front office covets. But the red flags are waved everywhere, and they are impossible to ignore. We are talking about a recent DWI charge from December that is still hanging over his head, and a past incident from his time at Michigan State involving an assault charge after a post-game altercation. We know the leadership of this team prides itself on character fits and building a culture of discipline. So the million-dollar question is, does the elite talent outweigh the off-field baggage? It's a gut-wrenching decision for a team with the 25th pick. If his legal interviews don't come back spotless, he might be completely off the board, regardless of how many pressures he recorded in the SEC. Can you imagine the frustration if we pass on a star because of these concerns, only to see him dominate for a rival? Or worse, what if we take the risk and it blows up in our face? As we look at other intriguing names like the rangy safety mcneil-warren out of Toledo, or the high-risk, high-reward receiver Jordan Tyson, it becomes clear that pick 25 is the ultimate pivot point for this franchise. We are at a stage where a single draft class can be the difference between a decade of mediocrity and a decade of parade floats on Michigan Avenue. The Beast has provided the data, the scouts have done the miles, and now it's up to the leadership to show us the vision. Some might look at Monroe Freeling or Caleb Lamu as the answer at tackle, providing that essential blindside protection we've craved for years. Others might want to see us double down on defense with a lockdown corner like Chris Johnson or Colton Hood. Every choice carries a weight that can be felt through the entire city. The clock is ticking, the film is being analyzed for the 10,000th time, and the entire future of football in the city of Chicago is hanging in the balance. We are in for a wild, emotional ride over the next 2 months, and the only thing that is certain is that nothing is guaranteed until that name is read off the card and the jersey is held up on stage. Get ready, because the most important draft in recent history is official here. This is our moment to go from contenders to legends. Bear down.